Welcome to our Sunday morning service here at the Harm Spiritual Center on today, July 19th, 2026. Please join me in our opening prayer. Divine oneness as we walk forward in this new day and listen to the message that Reverend Lynn will give us. Let us do so from awakened hearts and souls, with each of us able to intuit what is in this message that is exactly what we need to receive this day. Let this be so, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Connie. That was beautiful. Good morning again.
Good morning, Jesse.
How are you? This morning I'm going to discuss faith. What is it? And so many options for faith. So what is faith? Faith is such a small word with enormous and sometimes complicated meanings. It has been written by Rumi that faith is a place of mystery. A place of mystery where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of the fear of our own uncertainty. We may want to ask ourselves, excuse me, what do we have faith in? Spiritual faith, metaphysical faith, in humanity, as our song said, faith in our relationships, our choices, our abilities. I could really go down a rabbit hole with all of our choices to have in faith. Or maybe, just maybe, we put our faith in our Creator, and then the Creator manages all these choices for us. I kind of like that. Hand all my choices over to Spirit. Everything I have faith in, turn it over to Spirit, and then have faith that Spirit will lovingly lead me to my highest and best good. That seems right to me, but it's still a little scary. Faith is not a passive belief. Instead, it requires movement, daily choices, even when these choices have an uncertain and possibly not such a happy outcome. But we can still cling to faith, knowing that everything is okay. Everything is unfolding in the best way possible for us. I was reading an article, I was reading an article from the Center for Buddhist Studies and came across a beautiful explanation of faith from a Buddhist's point of view. I'd like to share some of that article with you now. The word faith in Buddhism is from the original language that all Buddhist texts came from, and that is the Pali language. And the word in Pali for faith is saddha. And saddha meaning to place your heart upon something, or to give your heart over to something. Sometimes it means so much more than that, though. It's a word that can mean trust. Who do we trust? What do we trust? It can also mean inspiration. Maybe inspiration from a teacher or a piece of artwork or music that inspires us to have faith. Confidence. It's also known as confidence. To move forward, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Or patience. Being patient when it's waiting for a situation to unfold in the right way at the right time for us. And courage. The courage to move away from our conditioning or our families' constraints, even having the courage to start a meditation practice. The courage to take a step forward to allow the truth to speak to us in our hearts. And there's a little more to this, and I'm going to come back to that at the end, but I'm going to continue here. The purity and simplicity of faith is so very powerful. Faith is what begins our energy, our willingness to look. It is what sustains us. It is what allows us to take a risk, to open up to seeing the truth for ourselves, rather than simply going along with what we've been told by conventional teaching. The Radiant Sutras is a collection of 112 ancient teachings to explore spirit in everyday experiences and much more. I've had the pleasure of reading that for the last month, and I've kind of fallen in love with the book. So I'd like to share a little bit of that. In the section of the essence of faith, trusting in the flow, the discussion is about not being required to have blind obedience, but to instead trust our own senses, our breath, and the natural flow of all existence. It is suggested that the seeker anchor and ground themselves between breaths where reality can arrive, letting go of control, flowing with the sounds, the vibrations, and the gentle fleeting sensations of the universe to melt into a state of divine silence and connectedness to all that is. I think that's quite beautiful. That was written in the 8th century, and we're still trying to find our faith and different ways to express it. Trusting and having faith while going through trials, challenges, and hard times can be the anchor that grounds us in our beliefs and pulls us through even the most trying times. It seems that humanity has been exploring this for many centuries and many years. I think I have always had faith, but to a different degree. There have been some very challenging times in my life, and I will not stand here and tell you that I've never lost faith, because I have. Maybe not lost it, but really it was declining. But my faith in spirit didn't waver. That's the interesting thing. I know and believe in spirit and our creator and the universe. For me, it was more about faith in myself. Am I worthy to receive these blessings? Am I smart enough to accomplish this? Am I qualified to make the life and death decisions necessary for someone else, someone that I love dearly, knowing that one wrong move would bring disaster? That's pretty big stuff for a little human, and it's nice to have a little faith to go along with it. When I have struggled with my faith, I talk to spirit, not pray, but talk. And it goes something like this. Okay, I really need some help now. I'm asking for clear guidance in this situation, clear knowing, and the faith that I am headed in the right direction. And then I start moving in that direction. One step at a time, one foot in front of the other, one right decision at a time. Knowing that I will be guided and shown the right way, find the right answers, the right solutions, and the right people. And even to be given the right words to say at the right time. So important. It's still a little scary, but the right answers do come. We just need to have a little faith, right? Just a little. It has been said that faith itself consists of fear and hope. Show me fear without hope or a hope without a fear. The two are inseparable. And that is a quote from Rumi. Many indigenous peoples say that their faith is not separate. It's not a separate concept, meaning that it does not exist in a vacuum. But it is an inherently holistic way of living, deeply rooted in the stewardship and a sense of place on the land, their communities, and with all living things. What gives faith its power? Jesus said in Matthew 7:24-27, to have a foundation of faith made of rock is to hear the word and obey it. Not hear the word and go on like we never heard anything. It's about listening and obeying. And I struggle with listen and obey. I do. I will be honest about that. But we do talk about that here at Home Center. We talk about it in a much softer way, though. Listening to the little voice inside of you. When you ignore it, things don't always go the way they should. You may get a gut feeling about something. My hair actually stands on end in the back of my neck when Spirit is trying to tell me to listen or to pay attention to something. And I know I'm supposed to pay attention, but sometimes I don't. And that's when issues happen. I know most of you have heard me say that we really don't listen like we should all the time to Spirit and our Creator and the angels. I would like to remind you that we all do have free will. We get to do whatever we want, and we can reap the rewards or suffer some of the consequences. It's our choice. But I urge you to start having conversations with your Creator, your guides, the universe. We must all ask for help, guidance, and assistance before these beautiful beings and energy can step in to make our lives easier and more fulfilled. Just ask and have a little faith, because they hear you and are always near, waiting to assist you. We all have personal feelings about faith, what to have faith in and where to put our faith. I have faith in humanity. I have faith in the people I love. I have faith in the people that I struggle with, because they're giving me something in me that they are reflecting for me to look at myself more clearly, more deeply. I have faith in Home Spiritual Center. I have faith that the world will continue turning long after my body becomes part of the earth. In the Bible in Matthew 17:20, it states that after the disciples failed to heal a boy, Jesus said to them, it's because of your unbelief. If you have faith, pure faith, as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move for you. Nothing will be impossible for you. This mustard seed parable is a little difficult for me to grasp. But then with the emerging 5D and quantum field concepts, I'm keeping an open mind. It may just be that way. The parable of the mustard seed highlights the idea that something so tiny, can carry immense significance. Knowing the little mustard seed can have remarkable growth shows us that many great things start small. This very tiny seed grows up to be about a 20-foot tall tree. And it starts its life about half the size of a sesame seed. that sits on top of our hamburger buns. That's pretty small. Then the pagan faith, their faith is in the earth, the cosmos, seen both as sacred. Nature is seen as divine, with immense spiritual importance, as they are being guided by the change of the seasons, the phases of the moon, the stars, and all the natural elements. Isn't that beautiful? Faith itself has no power. The power of faith comes from within each one of us. The power to move mountains and overcome obstacles comes from our faith in the Creator, Spirit, the universe. And it is not a magical formula for personal use, but it is a reminder of relying on our faith in ourselves and in the Creator and the universe. In Judaism, faith is known in Hebrew as emunah, and is not just an intellectual belief in the unseen. Instead, it is defined as an act of trust, loyalty, and a lifelong practice of the teachings, letting us know that faith is an energy being driven by clear and practical steps that must be cultivated and exercised daily. We've heard that in the last few, haven't we? Everybody's talking about the same thing in different parts of the world. And I was reminded of that when I was preparing for the talk today, how much alike we all are. Every one of us are alike in some way with our faith. It may be unique to us, but down the road it's all similar because we have faith. And how beautiful is that we can show our faith in so many different and individual ways. We have altars where we place flowers and crystals as a sign of faith. Maybe we use positive thoughts, write poetry, or sing. Maybe it's a favorite spot in nature or a special tree where I like to go and visit and be reminded of my faith and renewed in my faith. It's so beautiful. All places, altars, and practices are so filled with our loving energy because we put the energy there. We put it there. We put our faith in these spots every time we visit, and it grows and it grows and it grows into a sacred, healing environment. Some have been used like this for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. And the energy can be a powerful reminder of our faith as well as our ancestors' faith. It does seem to me that most of the world sees faith in a very, very similar way. I have hope that our universally shared faith will be something that brings the world closer together. I was speaking earlier. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I was speaking about the Pali word saddha, meaning faith. But I left out one sense, and that is saddha can also be compared to relaxation. And I would like to share that with you now, and we will use it as our meditation. So just sit, listen, close your eyes. Listen to the sounds as they come and go. Listen to my voice, the birds, the breath you take and release. You can breathe it in and breathe it out. Notice that you do not need to create an awareness of these sounds. You just simply sit quietly and listen. Be present and relax. They are they are all around us. So just notice, breathe in and breathe out. And be aware of your breath. And do not try to control your breath. Feel your breath as it enters your nose, your nostrils, on your lip as it comes past. Feel your chest rise and fall with each breath. We don't even notice we're breathing. We just breathe. Breathing it in and releasing it. Now try to feel your body in the same way. The different sensations, the cool air on your arms, the way your feet feel on the floor, on the ground, and how your body feels sitting in a chair. Don't force anything. Just breathe and relax. Let your shoulders drop and just You can deal with mind chatter, or what we call monkey mind, in the same way. Allowing thoughts to come and allowing them to go. Do not try to control it. Just recognize those thoughts like a passing movie. Breathe in and release. Breathe in and release. When we relax in this manner and let awareness reveal itself to us, we are engaging in a beautiful expression of faith. So just relax. Breathe in another minute. And take a breath and release. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. I'd like to end my talk this morning by reading you a verse from the Radiant Sutras. This is part of the ancient poetry that I was speaking about, how people express their faith or their love. It's a little bit of both. Worship does not mean offering flowers. It means offering your heart. It means offering your heart to the vast mystery of the universe. It means letting your heart pulse with the life of the universe, without thought, without reservation. It means being so in love that you are willing to dissolve and be recreated in every moment. And that's what they say. Rather pretty. And now it's time for our offering.
Good girl.
So good. She's so pretty. All right, as we prepare our offerings to the home center, let us hold it in our hands and charge it up with the energy of alignment, generosity, and sacred intention. We know that we are a part of the greater circulation of good, and that our gifts will multiply for the highest healing, growth, and service to us and our community. As the basket is coming around, please fill it with your blessings. And we thank you. We thank you for your generosity and for continuing to support our good works. And so it is. Connie, would you like to come up and give us our inspirational story? I like that. Thank you.
I'm using this book, Walking in Grace, this morning as a gift from Reverend Madge. And I felt that this particular day's story went along well with what Lynn has been explaining. There's always a verse, usually from the Bible, to begin the story with, and it ends with the person's personal prayer. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Psalms 27. On our final morning in San Diego, my husband Kevin, our daughter Caitlin, and I meandered our way along the boardwalk to Seaport Village. The past 3 days had been filled with delicious food, good conversation, and strolls along the ocean, an ideal vacation. But in the back of my mind, a conversation with a magazine editor had spun round and round. He wanted me to tackle a new project, something out of my comfort zone. I preferred to stick with what I knew, to play it safe. At the carousel at the Seaport Village, we stopped to peer through the gate at the 54 animals that had been hand-carved in 1895. Besides traditional horses, there were giraffes, camels, and even a blue dragon. I want to ride the carousel, I declared. Caitlin stared at me, shocked. To be honest, I was surprised as well. Due to unsettling motion sickness, I usually experience carnival rides from the sidelines, holding everyone's jackets and snapping photos. Did I really want to risk an incapacitating bout of nausea? The animals and the carnival music drew me in. I paid my money and climbed on, determined to join the fun, no matter the outcome. I was tired of playing it safe. With that, I also had the answer to my work dilemma. I would face my fear and step into the unknown. Round and round, up and down, I rode with my family without one quasi-qualm, one uneasy qualm. I rode the blue dragon. This is her prayer. Jesus, in the unknown ups and downs of this day, thank you that you ride with me as I face my dragons. Lynn Hartick, I guess is her name. Yeah, it's interesting. I chose this story, and yet I read this morning a story to Dick from another book called, just a minute. Oh, it doesn't want to come to me. Anyway, it's a very famous type of books. I can remember one of them was something about the dandelions grow better over the septic tank. But anyway, in this particular story, this woman came up with the challenge that faced her by something she'd accidentally said to someone, where she had to get up on Larry King Live and try to give something from the Bible at the fastest speed possible to break a record. And she realized, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? And she simply quoted the 91st Psalms over and over and over. And she did so at the rate of 538 words per minute. She continued several years after that to keep breaking that Guinness Book of Records by facing the fact, she said, I always say yes, then I figure out how I'm going to do it. Sometimes we have to do it that way, right? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting what else I have to do up here. Well, we had her prayer, now we'll have mine. So join me in the closing prayer. Let us use our faith to see how Creator God provides for all our needs and always will. By asking, we do receive. This coming week, let your prayer be, let me see my way forward through the clear eyes of faith. Let me find my way confidently by walking in faith. Let me recognize with a grateful heart all that the Creator God provides for me. Thank you. Amen. Okay. Now,
Now you can escape.
isn't there something else? Yes. Thank you. I want to thank all of you who came by way of the internet with us this morning or will be joining us later this week. Thank you for being with us. And we say from our heart to yours and hope to see you again soon.